Hi everyone. Starting this week, we are going to look at different applications of Excel VBA to business modeling with different types of models that we can build for business applications, starting with a stock trading simulation this week. So this is our stock market trading simulation. I'll go over all the different design features, what we're going to learn, an overview of the different parts of the model, exactly how it runs. And then I'll let you explore the code yourself, explore the model, try it, look at the code. And then on Wednesday, I will record another lecture that goes through the code. Okay, so today is just an overview of the simulation itself. So the learning objectives are, we are going to see how to automate a spreadsheet simulation model using VBA. We're going to see how runtime of a simulation can be affected by the recalculation mode. We're going to use VBA to enter an array function into an Excel range, and we will use simulation to measure. Okay, here's a typo. Measure the effectiveness of a stock market trading strategy. So this is a business concept. These are VBA concepts. So an overview of the simulation. This is a fairly complex program, so it's going to take a while for us to go through each component. Starting with the objectives of the simulation, this application simulates the stock market and the trading strategy of an investor. So this is designed for an individual investor like you and me to use and to simulate different sort of outcomes of your buy strategy and your investment strategies. The investor has to follow a bunch of rules. The market follows some rules as well, and there's constraints. And we'll talk about the different features of the program, the main features. There are lots of little features. So as an investor, if you're using the program, you're the user of the simulation, the investor gets to earn some cash and shares of a stock at the beginning of day one. From then on, the investor uses a buy-sell strategy that depends on the recent stock price changes. The current strategy described on the input sheet. So there are going to be a bunch of sheets showing up over here. They are hidden right now, but you will get to see these sheets later on. Okay, so the current strategy is a version of buy low, sell high, but you can easily implement different strategies using the same simulation. The rules of the stock market are the following. The stock price changes according to a log normal model, which is a model that's commonly used by financial analysts. It's a way to simulate the market. The only constraint is that the investor cannot buy more shares than he can afford with the current cash on hand. In terms of using this simulation, there are a lot of design features. The user can view and change the inputs first or run the simulation with current inputs. So the simulation will populate a bunch of default inputs, but the user can look at it, and if you don't like the inputs, you can modify them. The user can also change the percentage to sell if the stock price increases 2 or 3 days in a row. The user can change the percentage to buy if the stock price decreases 2 to 3 days in a row. So these things are sort of strategies that you can automate as a user. The user can modify the model to examine different types of trading strategies, buy high, sell low, without changing VBA code. A summary of the results are shown on the summary sheet, and corresponding histograms are shown on the histogram sheets. There are 5 of them. The results of the individual replications of the simulation are available on the replication sheet, and that sheet is hidden. I'll show you how to unhide it. The simulation itself tracks 5 output measures: the investor's cash at year end, value of investor's stock at year end, gain loss from investor's cash stock portfolio at year end relative to what he owned at beginning of year, lowest price of stock during year, highest price of stock during year, and the simulation can run up to 1,000 replications. Although you can easily change this limit as a coder. You can go back and change the hard-coded limit. There are a total of 9 worksheets in addition to the 3 that are visible to you. These are sort of instructions. There are 9 additional worksheets that will populate once you start running the simulation. So you will see an inputs worksheet. That's a bunch of parameters for starting the simulation. The model is hidden. So the model models trading activity for a 250-day period using the log normal model. The replications spreadsheet is hidden, but you can unhide it and you can see the different replications. So if the user asks for 20 replications, you see all 20 replications on this sheet. There's a summary sheet that is visible, so that's the output. The results are summarized and visible to the user, and then the user can see 5 different histograms. And here is the simulation. So the simulation has 2 buttons that the user can run. So the first is called View and Change Inputs. This button, once you click it, it populates the inputs worksheet. The user can change any of the inputs before running the simulation. So let's try that. So if I click this, you will see the inputs worksheet automatically shows up, and these are the input parameters. So these are the numbers that are being populated. The yellow, the blue ones are sort of randomly chosen by the simulation. As a user, you can go in and change this, right? So if you want to have more initial cash, you can come here and just edit it. So as a user, you can specify what you want, or you don't have to touch them. You can go ahead and just start running the model over here. You can also change the recent stock prices, the current price. You can see, you can determine what you want. And also you can change the percentage, right, that you want to buy or sell when the stock prices goes up or down continuously over a period of time. Okay, so there's 2 days, there's 3 days in a row. You can click this button to start running the simulation. That button is the same button of this run the simulation. These 2 are exactly the same. So I'm gonna come back here and explain what this button will do. This button will ask the user how many replications to run. So you can run up to 1,000 replications, and this is a counter. This counter will reflect the current, you could see it incrementing as the program runs. Okay, so you can see exactly how many replications are being run. The simulation will run to recalculate random numbers on the hidden model worksheet for each replication. It'll store outputs on hidden replications worksheet. It'll calculate summary measures and store them on summary worksheet. The replication counter will show the progress. So you see that over here. Each output has a corresponding histogram worksheet. So we'll get 5 outputs, and each one of them have a histogram worksheet. They will show up over here. Results will differ with each new run, even if the same inputs are used, because new random numbers are used in each run. Okay, so I'll just let you take a moment to look at the different features and get yourself ready for the simulation. So once I hit this, you're going to start to see the counter running, and you're going to see a bunch of spreadsheets popping up. So I'm going to go ahead and run this. Okay, so the first question is how many replications I want to run, and I can pick a number that's no more than 1,000. So let me try 1,000, and it's going to run a while, right? So I'm going to click OK. It's going to take a while. All right, so our spreadsheet's populated. You can see the inputs. The summary is the output, so we can see the minimum, maximum, average, standard deviation, median, percentiles of ending cash, ending stock value, cumulative gains, min price, max price. These are the 5 outputs, and each one of these gets a histogram. So you can examine the histogram over here. So that took a while because we asked for 1,000 runs. Right here, you can see that it's 1,000 runs. And there are 2 hidden worksheets. What we can do is we can just click on any tab, right click, and you can see unhide. Okay, so we have 2 hidden sheets that we can unhide. I'm going to unhide the model. And then I'm going to unhide the replications. So you can see the model is over here. The calculations, outputs from 1-year loan simulation, the outputs are here. You can see the stop price, the trading activities, the values. These are all simulated by the simulator. And these are the replications. We asked for 1,000 replications, so that's why it took a while. And all the values are here. So what I want you to do is to explore the formula. So some of the some of the cells have formulas, and I think you should take a look around and take a look at the formulas. And then you should also try just different parameters, different numbers, and see how the simulator responds. And then you can go behind the scene, take a look at the code, and see if you can figure out how it works. So we have a module and all the code. This is the simulation code right here. So not a whole lot of code, but it's does something that's really powerful. So I'll let you explore this for a couple days, and then on Wednesday we'll come back and go over the code together.